So the next few videos I'm going to do are basically long overdue, and I do stress long overdue Patreon requests. So we're going to start things off with a movie review that comes from Captain Omni, who asked me to review the Mothman Prophecies. He's like, "Hello, fellow fan of Mothman. I request that you do this video of the best Mothman movie." And I do. You probably say, like, "Oh, you mean the only Mothman movie?" No, there's a few out there. This is the best one. Yeah. Like, every cryptid should at least have one good movie. Like, there should be at least one good cryptid movie. For every cryptid out there should at least get one good movie. Or at least a tolerable one. For Mothman, it's the Mothman Prophecies. For Bigfoot, it's debatable, but I personally think Exists is the best Bigfoot movie. Seriously, I had no expectations that it's the best goddamn Bigfoot movie ever. It's a point of view. I'll just tangent real quick because you guys need to check out Exists. Exists is basically a Bigfoot movie that's a found footage movie, but it does not go in the way you think. And it's from the director of Blair Witch Project, and I swear you see Bigfoot. It's not like Blair Witch, where the original Blair Witch, where you don't see anything. Trust me, you see a lot of Bigfoot, but not enough to make you go, huh, that was disheartening. So, without further ado, sorry for that cutaway, but yeah. So without further ado, let us talk about a movie that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. Who the fuck cares? It's an old movie. Can you believe that, by the way? Like, it's literally, it feels like 2015 or 2016 happened like a year ago, or like 2 years ago, right? Like, and this year went by fast, at least for me. I don't know about anyone else, but this year feels like it feels like yesterday it was just March, right? Like, I can't be the only one who thought that. Anywho, let's talk about this movie, The Mothman Prophecies. So The Mothman Prophecies is basically a movie following around Richard Gere, who does play the character of the actual person John Keel. John Keel, for those who are not in the cryptid know, John Keel was basically a dude who was kind of like the real life Fox Mulder. He was basically an investigative journalist who was trying to figure out all these weird occurrences that were not just the Mothman, but everything going on in the Bridgewater Triangle, and it was said that he was visited by the Men in Black. No, not, J and K. I'm talking like the scary, you didn't see shit or we're gonna make you disappear kind of Men in Black. So, yeah. The problem is that they don't do the timeline very well. Like, they use, it's kind of like, the Texas Chainsaw 3D movie, where in that movie, they were very cheeky about saying what time it was, even though it's a direct sequel to the 1974 movie. And at the same time, they're using, it's supposed to be set 20 years, but they're using, iPhones and shit. So, the other major thing is that the Mothman Prophecies kind of do that, too, where it's kind of cheeky about its continuity. Like, it plays very fast and loose with the timeline. And while the whole time, I will just get this joke out of the way, because you all are going to be making it anyway in the comments, so I will beat you all to the collective punch. The whole time, I watched this movie for reverence for this review. I basically, when I was watching this movie, every time Richard Gere, who plays John Keel, I just said that, fuck me, I'm stupid, the whole time I was watching this movie, every time he was like, I gotta find this creature or man or whatever, I thought to myself, it's in your butt, Mothman is in your butt, Richard Gere, look in your butt. Yeah, it's right up there with the gerbil. Anyway. Anyway. I got the joke out of the way so I could stop all of you. Anyway. And the stories I've heard about Richard Gere, I don't, I've heard some very kind of nasty stuff that he's done to people, so I don't feel bad about the gerbil joke. I used to feel bad about it, but I'm like, now I don't. Like, I've heard some very kind of awful things that he's kind of done to people, and I'm like, you know what? I don't feel bad about it. Do not feel bad about it. Anyway. So, the Mothman itself is kind of played as kind of like a specter or a monster in the shadows, while it is, and you don't know, kind of like in real life with the actual Mothman cryptid, is that we never get to know if the creature is benevolent or malevolent. We never get to see that kind of correlation between, is it evil or is it a force of good? We never get to see the full extent of that. The movie does have some great suspense, but then again, you know, this is, like, I say suspense in the sense that this is an late 90s, early 2000s horror movie. I put quotations in that. So, it was competing with, like, competing with the likes of, I don't know, like, it was like competing with the likes of, like, Darkness Falls and stuff like that. The timeline I can never get right, but anyway. So this movie is a lot of fun, but personally, I'm more like, it's kind of a slog. It really does feel like a slog. And it does also do the whole Blair Witch thing of don't show the monster and just tease at it the whole time. I'm like, that works in the sense that Blair Witch, like, was meant to be like a very boots on the ground kind of guerrilla style filming. Here, you're doing a big budget movie with a bunch of actors. You don't need that. You don't need to do that. And if you're gonna do a movie about the Mothman, straight up do the Mothman, I'm just saying. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is not much else I can really say about this movie because it's been out for decades. If you want to go see it, I'm pretty sure you can find it on some streaming site. But other than that, I want to thank Captain Omni for sending me this review. And if you are curious about doing having your own Patreon, your own video done here on YouTube, hit the link below to my Patreon. And join the 4th tier of my Patreon. You also get to see some exclusive content in terms of videos. And other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.